Hi everyone, and welcome to our third Solar 60 video. This week we'll be focusing a bit more on installation types. So when you're driving down the motorway, for example, you will have seen solar panels in fields, or if you're driving down a regular street, you will have seen solar panels on houses. But the question we have this week is, what's the key difference?
Well, there are different places you can put solar panels. Anywhere that kind of faces towards the sun, preferably south, will generate electricity. But the two key differences between the examples you spoke about are really scale. So solar farms, as we call them, which tend to be in fields, tend to be very large scale, and you might have many hundreds, many thousands, tens of thousands of solar panels altogether. And obviously the smaller installations, typically on a house, and you might have anywhere between sort of 6 and maybe 20 panels on a house, and that we call microgeneration. So that's a more domestic scale installation, generating obviously less electricity.
So these two different installation types that you mentioned, do they try to achieve different goals to each other?
Very much so, yes. The large solar farms in the fields where there's many solar panels really are trying to sort of to recreate a power station. So you're creating many kilowatt hours of power that can be generated and used to power many homes, many factories, or whatever. And it's created on very much a macro scale, whereas microgeneration on a house, for example, is really about supplying the local needs, so the needs of that particular house, and if not that particular house, maybe some within the street. And there is an in-between, of course, where you've got some fairly large installations, normally hundreds of panels, maybe a few thousand, on very large roofs. And there are many large roofs around on supermarkets, manufacturing units, warehouses, schools, those kind of things, where you've got quite big south-facing ugly roofs that you can put plenty of solar panels on, where there's loads of space, and you're not using up space that could be used for other things like farming.
So kind of building on what you said earlier, you said that obviously the solar farms are trying to emulate a power station effectively, generating power on a large scale. But what are the benefits of kind of microgeneration?
It's a very different philosophy really, where you're looking to generate energy for that particular property. So if you're on a school, for example, or an industrial unit, you'd normally be looking to generate enough energy for that particular building, and particularly if it's manufacturing, for example, or a hotel or something that uses lots of energy during the day. You can actually size it so all the energy gets used in that building. With a house, it's slightly different in the sense that obviously people are out during the day maybe. It's unclear, sometimes people are around during the day at the weekend, but they're not around during the week, for example. We've got a more flexible kind of usage pattern going on, and that's where you can get really clever around putting batteries in to store some of the energy, around maybe trading the energy on a peer-to-peer basis. So, I'm generating in my house and I don't need it because I'm at work, but somebody across the street maybe does need it because they just put their washing machine on. But also to do things like maybe charge an electric car, or even put your washing machine on.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, Paul. It's insightful as always. That's it for our third Solar 60 video. Thank you all for watching.